Alright, finally we can get to the fun stuff. So I've got two lures, very nice, smooth, shiny. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they are ready to go. And so basically what we need to do now is make some molds. So I already have these kind of pre-cut and ready-ish. We're going to need a hot glue gun, some foam. You can get like the sheets at a craft store and then just cut them down appropriately to, kind of to the size. So this is this one here, you want to have a little bit of space, and then you're just going to build the side walls but leave enough room, and you can come in on it too as we're gluing. So, and I'll show you here in just a second. So I think we're going to just go ahead and start with the Swimbait actually, because that'll be pretty simple. And as far as the Swimbait goes, or any of them, we're going to need some super glue. And basically all we're going to do is just take a bead of that on the very back, run it up along the top, because this is the part that's going to be open pore. You're not going to see any of this, but we're going to adhere it right to the bottom here. And just give it a second, let it sit up. Actually, we'll go ahead and just do that on the other two. And the other one is going to be a little trickier, but I kind of know where the high spots are going to be. Okay. Okay. So we have both of those laid out. We'll put the super glue away, won't need that anymore. And then I already have my hot glue gun kind of already heated up. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to tackle the Swimbait, and the other one you're going to understand how it works, so I'm not going to show you that. So here goes. Basically what I want to do is a little adjustment here. I'm just going to make a bead where I want that wall to be. You want to give it a little bit of space, so when you're melting the RTV silicone that we're going to use, that it's not going to heat up too much and not do good things to your mold. So we're going to give it a little space. I have maybe 3/4 of an inch on the outside here. So, and now, so you do the bottom wall here, but you're going to have to seal this all the way off so there's no leaking. So you're going to use a lot of glue, and that's okay. Just give yourself plenty of room. The glue is going to get messy and it's going to want to get on everything, so you got to give enough room in your mold. Alright, we'll do the bottom here. Okay, and we'll put that one in there. Yeah, the most important thing is just make sure you cover all the holes. If you have a pinhole, you're going to have Plastisol running everywhere. It'll be a mess. Trust me, I've been there. So, looking good so far. All I'm going to do now is just kind of measure off where I want to be. I'll take my pencil here. Just kind of rough sketch it in there. And utility knife. Okay. Good enough. Now this part's a little trickier, but it doesn't have to be perfect, because the main important thing is just getting that lure molded. So here we go. Alright, looking good. You can see down in there, everything is sealed off. You just want to double check, make sure. Actually, I have a little wall here that didn't get covered for some reason, so I'm going to cover that up. I need another stick. Get a glue stick in here. I know hot glue is a little pricey, but for what we're doing, we want to make sure we have enough. All right, I believe I got it here. Okay, I think we got that one. The other one's the exact same thing, so I'm not going to show you that, but we'll cut back in here when we get ready to actually do the mold. Okay, now that I have two different molds ready to go, we're going to go ahead and start to do the actual mold making process here. We're going to get some RTV silicone, and this is something you can get at any craft store. This is one I actually got at Hobby Lobby. This is, I didn't actually pay much attention, but this is amazing mold maker RTV silicone. It is supposedly supposed to set and be able to use within a half an hour, which is absurd. I didn't read that. Usually they're 6, 8, sometimes 12 hours or more. So we're gonna, actually I take that back. Demold time is 30 minutes and 6 to 8 hours of work time. So that's perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this one here. We'll go ahead and pull it out. Let's see what we have. It's been a while since I've done this one, so we'll see. And I hear my dad coming up the road with the tractor. Okay, so we're gonna do, we got A and we have B, and once these mix, that's what you get your RTV silicone out of. So basically we need to have equal parts of both. So we're gonna get a cup here. We're gonna weigh out this cup, and for me, all I'm doing is just estimating how much I need. I don't need a whole ton, so we don't want to go overboard here. So I'm gonna turn on my scale. We're gonna go by ounces. So 0.4 ounces. We're gonna, oops. We're gonna cancel that out. Okay. We're gonna cancel that out, and then we are going to mix even amounts on both. And I probably should be wearing gloves, but I'm not. Good old nasty RTV silicone. But anyway, here we go. So this is only half, so I don't want to go overboard. I have, let's go to 3.5 ounces. Close enough. Okay. 3.5 ounces. Open up the other one and do the same thing. We're gonna zero it out and make 3.5 ounces out of that. And this time I'm gonna open this one this way so I don't get it all over my fingers. Okay. Okay, exact same. Actually, it was 3.6 on both, so perfect. Okay, I'll put that aside, and I just need popsicle stick. I'm just gonna stir this up, make sure we get it really good, get on the edges, this Dixie cup. You don't want to see any other color than one solid. We're getting kind of a hot pink color. Maybe a little on the orangey side. Okay, I think I got it pretty good. Scrape off as much of this as I can get. I'm just gonna set it up. I'll just set it up here. It'll peel off once it sets. So we want to bring this up nice and high. Let's see. Move this one out of the way for a second so you can see this. This is Swimbait. You want it nice and high, and you don't want to pour it in really fast. Just a little bit. Have a nice small stream, because what that does is that'll take all the bubbles and let them kind of fizzle out. If you just dump it in there, you're going to have bubbles all through it, and you're going to lose your detail if you're working with detail. But either way, you want to just slightly put it in, and you want to kind of just drizzle it over your lure. Let's see, I don't know if this other camera will pick it up or not. Just kind of let it go around. Make sure you cover the whole thing up and a little more. I'm going to jump to this other one right now because I don't want to run short. Okay. Just trying to get all these crevices. I don't really see any bubbles in here, so this is great. Looks like I have just about the perfect amount. And I'm going to go right here. I'm not worried about spilling it because it'll all peel off here in the end. And I might as well use what's left in here. Okay, good enough. Alright, so basically I just have to wait those 6 to 8 hours, and for me it's 7:30 in the evening, so I'm just going to wait overnight, and in the morning I can look at it. And I should be able to just peel these walls right off and heat up some Plastisol and pour it right in, and we're cooking. So this is exciting. Things are going to start getting really good. Looking forward to seeing what these things do, and next week do some fishing with them. So yeah, really exciting. All right, top of the morning, we are finally able to look and see how these turned out. I can put my finger in here. They seem nice and solid, so I don't have any concerns or issues. So this isn't going to be pretty. We're just going to tear these walls down. There's going to be a little bit of cleanup at least. It's all good. Tear these down. And most likely your lure isn't going to make it through this process, or your prototype of your lure, and that is just fine because we have what we need. So I'm just going to wiggle this off of here. RTV silicone is really stretchy, so it'll come right off with no problem at all. And this is the Swimbait one. Okay, so I've got a lure in there. I'm going to pop the head out first, and as usual, the tail usually breaks off, so you got to get in there and kind of wiggle out the rest without leaving any chunks in there. Okay, so I got the tail out too. So that one is mostly complete. Now you can see there's an open spot here, open spot here. A lot of times I'll take a knife or a pair of scissors and just open it up all the way through. It's not going to make that much difference on something like this. The other one, I have it tapered differently, so it probably will. So I'll clean that up here in just a second. So we'll do the other one here too. We could just throw those out later on. So I'm actually going to just take my knife and run up the back of this one. This one's a lot more delicate. With that little tail that's on there, and I'm hoping I can just, yes, I pulled it right out and didn't have to dig that tail out of there. Now, with that all said, this is going to be ultra tricky on this one because there is no tail section sticking out, and if I pour this, more than likely I'm not going to get all the way into the back of that. I might experiment first, but most likely I'm going to have to go through and just open up that tail section just a little bit. It might change the mold a little bit, but not too much. Alright, now the final procedure on this whole thing is getting some Plastisol melted. And for me, I already have just a little bit left over. I use these Pyrex measuring cups. I have a little bit left, not too much, some remelt from before. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this. It's not going to take much for these. And I'm just going to fill it in. with some hot Plastisol, and just to get an idea what I'm going to look like, what it's going to look like before I start getting in a whole bunch at a time. So here we go. We'll give it a shot. Okay, we now have Plastisol melted and ready to go. I'm going to give it a quick stir. Yep, we are ready. Okay, and then what we're going to do, this one is going to be the trickiest. And what I'm going to do is just tip it a little bit so it gets down in there. This is just me being experimental. You don't have to do what I'm doing. Let it run down into the cavities of that. I'm not sure. I don't think that actually did what I wanted it to. Be very, very careful. I've burnt the heck out of my fingers many times. Sylvadine became my friend, but it's something I enjoyed. Sometimes you take sacrifice for that kind of stuff, but it actually, it's not too bad if you're just paying attention to what you're doing. And yes, it got sloppy, but that is only to make sure everything got down into it. I don't know if this one made it, but I think the Swimbait one made it. All right, it should be cool enough to take a look at. I'm gonna peek in here at the, yeah, this one did not quite turn out quite right. I kind of figured that, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to really make this one turn out well. I'm gonna have to cut a little bit out of that tail, and that's fine. This is just an experimental start. So I'm just gonna slightly open this up. We've got a body, but we don't have a tail that came out. I don't know if you could see that. So no big deal. We're just gonna make some adjustments. This is gonna be a really cool fluke / drop shot bait, I think. So looking forward to it. The Swimbait I think is gonna turn out. If not, maybe the end of the paddle part may not have poured all the way through, but I think we have something that we want. Okay, so the paddle tail actually turned out pretty good. There's a couple air bubbles that didn't turn out right, like the top of the head and right at the very top of the actual paddle tail. So we're going to report both of those and see if we can't get a really nice turnout. Either way, if I threw this just the way it is, it's going to have really great action. It's definitely going to catch some fish. So let's try it again and see if we can get a good result. Okay, so I got these all made up. They turned out pretty good. The Swimbait version, really great. Everything looks perfect. Whenever you pour it, you have a little excess on the top. I just trimmed it off. And so I've got a whole bunch of these I'm going to try out here next week. As far as the Fluke style bait goes, they turned out really well too. The only thing with them is the fork tail did not turn out right, so I actually snipped it straight across, but it's still going to be, it's not going to change much difference. I should have did it a little bit differently. This is the prototype, and it ended up being just a flat end on a tail. Basically the Plastisol, unless I injected this, the Plastisol isn't going to get all the way to the end of this. So that was my mistake, but this is going to work just as good. It's going to be a great fluke bait as well as a drop shot bait. So I'm going to do some multiple colors and we're going to test it out here and see what they look like. Hey, we got a little largemouth in the river. Didn't even think they were in here. So awesome, first fish on the 2-inch. Yeah. go. Not a bad river fish at all. So, can't complain. Got some beautiful markings on them too. Alright, so this fish, if you look down in his throat, I don't know if you can see that or not. There's claws hanging out. Pretty good size. Great fish. Nice fish there. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Hopefully you got something out of it. Maybe even someday you can try making your own baits. To be honest, it's something that I wanted to do kind of as just something different to approach. And then after making 1 or 2 baits, I went out there and started catching a lot more fish than the stuff I was getting off the shelves. And it became an addiction for me. I love fishing with my own custom baits. They're a blast, and there's something just rewarding about catching fish on something that you made. So hopefully you got something out of it, and maybe you can become a DIY fisherman like myself. So if you like the video, give me a like and subscribe. I appreciate that. Hopefully I can get some more fishing content like this out in the future, and maybe share some more different baits that I've been making. So have a great day. Appreciate you.